All right, so we're all set up. Hi, welcome to the Red Fast Review. I didn't write down in the notes episode, Kilbride.
My board says 113. That's probably a couple behind. I'm gonna guess it's 115, somewhere around there. We're real professional up in here.
Somewhere in there. But we were going to call this We VCU, but we already had that where there was a bunch of math and a bunch of people were probably glazing over that section. But it was one of those things that as we started to look at it, it's all come true. And so now it's We Told You, because I name it and I was kind of on one today and the boys will agree with me. So we already kind of went around the horn with how everyone's doing. And I promise you all, we will get to your VC topic. But we are now officially 2.5 weeks from the early, and then just a little over a week for everyone else getting the game. I want to start with something that, because Pleated has hit us with a raid, we're going to be more positive. All right. Now, that doesn't mean because the sections I have are a little lopsided, but we are going to talk about the positives and we are going to talk about the negatives that we have with this game. So let's open it up. The positives that we have from 2K25.
The game plays awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what skill level you're at. Like, the game just plays good. The thing that I will say is that when I've fought myself through a golf shot, like I would on a real golf course, for the most part, the way that the ball interacts with the virtual turf and the virtual undulation, it mirrors the best it's ever have to what I would see on a real golf course. And that is probably the best compliment that I could give a golf game.
Yeah, I mean, every single shot feels so good. And, on top of that, there were a couple, as you would imagine, with 20 plus shot types, a couple that seemed on the overpowered side, like the spinner and I think the pick, and they've already nerfed those and took that response. Now we'll discuss later on how quickly have the ability to change things. But as far as the actual ability to play around a golf and simulate and feel like everything is realistic, like we played that alt shot a week and a half ago, and Ginger like just straight shanked a few right into the trees off the tee because he had a terrible contact or swing path rather. And just like those shots, they seem realistic. All the good shots do, all the bad shots do. There's so much reward for hitting four perfects. Now obviously some people can do it more consistent than others, but overall all the different shot types feel great. Obviously they can use some fine tuning, but we are so much further advanced than we ever have been.
We're calling the four perfects blueberries now, right, Labyrinth?
Blueberries.
Blueberries. Yeah, we don't have a good name for that. The biggest thing for me is just how it plays, kind of like these guys said. Back in 2K21, for some of these course designers to make a course difficult, they just have to artificially trick it up. Tucked pins with red slopes everywhere and like unrealistic runoffs, but the game plays realistic now. You can have good architecture and good design in these golf courses, and it plays difficult because the ball physics are just much more realistic.
And so I want to get to just a few things of drops were fixed. They've made the game much more enjoyable. Again, the little tweaks that people asked for and it was delivered was nice. Again, please remember that later as I'm going down that rabbit hole. But all of those things of archetypes matter now.
Yeah.
And even that little nerf of you don't get 6 anymore, it's down to 4. It's okay. Now I really want to mess around with, okay, is this sculptor really going to be better than the technician that we all thought of once we get to these spots? So even that little change was so nice to where the discussion isn't, oh, okay, you're going to use this, and this. We get that with some of the shot types, but for the most part, when you're talking about the archetypes, we can really get into, okay, how do I want to play this like I would like to play?
Yeah, I did a side by side all Sunday, because I've been playing Greenskeeper exclusively, and then leveled up a technician. Please forgive me, folks. I bought VC to be able to do it, and I could tell the difference in the putting stats from from my Greenskeeper in the 70s for everything, and the technician in the 60s. And so there probably are thresholds that exist in the game, because their thresholds exist in the NBA game too. But I could tell a marked difference. And so now the question's going to be, do all of the added attributes that I get to swing path and contact and transition and recovery and rhythm, are they going to overtake the the kind of easy mode putting? And that is so cool, because that shows me right away archetypes matter.
Sorry,
Yeah, and I like how they each had
inspiration.
a unique. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, inspiration just hit on what the title should be.
I like how each had a unique shot type or ability, I guess, for Greenskeeper, tied to them. More on the positive, not to be negative about it. I feel like it could have been cooler if it was maybe like really tied and you couldn't get it from other ones. But I really like the idea. You have to level up, progress. Like it makes the leveling up and your ability to have the longevity of the game and want to log in every day. Like there was a nice, especially at the beginning, we'll get to the VC situation, but there's a huge satisfaction of like, okay, a couple attributes points here, there, and you can go to your next character, which you actually want to level up. It's not you're just doing it to do it. Maybe you're testing and I want to use this one or that one, and you don't really know, or I want to try out this shot type. So there really felt like a good rewarding system each and every day that I was logging in, and I wanted to log in to the game every day.
Did you get your mirror ball?
What's that?
The mirror ball, logging in and then purchasing it, but
yeah,
you had to get the mirror ball.
I think I have the mirror ball.
Mm-hmm.
Was that just the early access rewards, or?
No, it was one of the things in the shop again when VC was being printed, like there was no tomorrow, and it was just one of those things of, oh, okay, like this is cool. I want to buy this. I want to get this. This is, I think right now, without purchasing any of the bundles, I've got 20, 30 shirts for my characters, 20 hats. Like that's been really cool to have all of that. But there's always the but. I'd like to be able to just spend it freely instead of just doing the old penny pinching of, I'm not sure.
Well, we want to stay on that note for a second first too. Like the customization in the apparel has been significantly better. Like obviously it still has a lot of room to improve because there's what 3 different iron sets in the shop or something silly like that. But the PGA Superstore itself, like the overhaul, there's so much more. There's the Clubhouse Pass. Like I feel like I actually have gone in to look at my character and look at the different outfits several times, as opposed to being just complacent. And I just picked an outfit and I never changed it once in 23, like maybe once or twice throughout the whole 2+ years. But I've already changed it a handful of times because I'm like, oh, that's genuinely, something I might be interested in, or that hat's cool, or these shoes are cool, or, I beat Tony Finau. I like his shoes. And, you have clubs. Oh, I got the Tiger Scotty Cameron now. Like, there actually feels like that incentive. And, to kind of pivot off that, it goes into the whole club customization too. That actually feels like it's a fun process of leveling up your clubs. And once again, it's another reason I want to log into the game every day.
I got a comment and then a question to Kilbride.
Mm.
Literally to everyone. The first comment is that I still need more. I need more customization because I like to have different outfits for all the rounds. And I'm just waiting for stuff that I think's cool. Right now, there's a lot of stuff that's gaudy, not necessarily stuff that I want to wear on the golf course. But on the customization thing, I have been a miser when it comes to fairway woods, hybrids, and irons because I don't want to level up the HB Studio stuff. I want to get those Mizunos that are in the Clubhouse Pass. For those that have done stuff on like their wedges and their irons, what are y'all doing? Are you favoring one stat and putting a bunch of stat on your irons? Or are you putting it or mixing it up and around? What are you doing?
So I kind of did what you did. First off is there wasn't like a specific one that I was targeting, but I don't want to overly spend time on the 2K ones because ultimately I'm just not going to use it. Like, I just know my end game character is not going to use them. So I just picked at least like some Vokey wedges or something that, at least felt a little bit better. Or, I unlocked the Hickory iron. So I have those. I don't think I'll ultimately use them, but it just felt a little bit more appealing in the bag. You're gonna have to forgive me, I have no idea what the actual sapphire emerald colors are, but the green level I did absolutely nothing as far as adding things. And then now at the blue, or maybe I did like one little power thing or something, but at the blue level, I think it's sapphire, is when I started adding some attribute ones. And with my guy specifically, I have technician. I am kind of regretting hammering the contact. Like, I think I got it up to like 95 and my power's at like 47 or 48 or something ridiculously low. So my intent was always to just put a whole bunch of power gems or whatever you want to call it on my, clubs, and I'd be fine. And I can poke it around even with my driver around 268, 270, and I'm relatively fine. But now that they've dialed it back a little bit to plus 234 instead of 246 or whatever it was, I think it does make a little bit of an impact. And you really should approach it a little bit more in the way that, you should probably have a little bit more balance. Like, I do feel like I probably need to respec my person at some point because my power is going to be a detriment if I'm going to compete. But ultimately, that's what I'm doing. So at the sapphire level, or I think whatever the blue level is when I start to apply stuff personally, and I just kind of grind until then.
I did some theory crafting on the technician, and I think that the power, you need to either get to 55, 58, or 60. Those are ones that when you do the jump up, it gives you driver, fairway, and hybrid pluses, and not pluses on all the other stuff. And so I'm playing around if 55's enough on that. But yeah, like, I don't want to put power on my irons. I don't want to hit a 60-degree wedge 175 yards. So I'm planning on only putting power on driver and maybe 3-wood.
That's how I have it. I have the technician too. I think my power's like maxed out though. I think it's at a 67, if that sounds right for maxing out power there. And then I have power fittings on top of that for the driver. So, I mean, my technician can hit the ball, like carry it 295, I think, or something like that, which is far.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other archetypes look like.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at, is with like the fittings testing. Now that we've gone through the initial stage of here's your shots, this is what you want, and now just getting those characters and figuring out what is that correct threshold. So like the swing path, what is the exact one that I need for us to get maybe a bigger what do we call in the little boxes?
The little boxes,
like your perfect path, the perfect button.
Oh, like the sweet spot.
The sweet spot. There we go. The G spot. So when we hit that, we want to make sure it gets to like, what does it look like at 80? What does it look like at 85? And then that's where I want to figure out, okay, next time that I move this or add the fitting, how's this going to work? Gentlemen, I do want to stop real quick. Jers, welcome on in. First time. How's it going? All right.
Gilbrad, can you shout him out?
Already did.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at with the fittings, is trying to figure out where is that sweet spot to be able to get the maximum AP and then get the maximum out of my fittings, because right now you're losing 3-4 stats and your fittings are only going to make up for one of them. So it's finding what's the sacrifice. I think most people are looking at rhythm going, all right, I'm not looking at you. Power's dependent on how you're feeling. So it comes down to that contact correction and swing plane. So that's really what I'm working with for the fittings.
What about recovery? Because everyone says, what we've heard is that recovery affects your lie percentage accuracy. Has anyone tested that?
I play with the percentages off, so I haven't put an ounce into any recovery.
And most of the recovery that you get into when you get into trouble, the rough it's not like the old days of 23 where, I'm in the rough, hit up on the D-pad 3 times, and that's going to get me into the same region. I love that with this game. When you're in the rough, it's looking at what is the approach into the green, how much run out do I have. So I haven't noticed a difference with the sculptor, the magician, and the technician have been the 3 that I've really been running. I really don't see recovery being a big stat. Sorry.
Does it tighten the percentage window when you're looking at it?
That is what I've been told. Yes.
Okay, so like if you're in the heavy rough, instead of 71 to 90, it'd be like 75 to 85 or something like that. Like maxed out.
I think what we've seen that it actually might change the accuracy of the icon. Bear, is that right?
Yeah, that was something that was brought up earlier, of like the picture you could start to see, like if your ball's buried, then you got a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like. All right, we've got our man in the field working on it right now. So Respawn's going to come back, give us an answer here.
Yeah, but get to work, Respawn. You haven't been posting videos and streaming all the time. Like, get to work.
Yeah, enjoy the night off. You got to get back to work. Otherwise we will fine you and then have people ask you about it for 30 minutes and make you change your title. So, again, there's a lot of good coming out of that. I do want to get to some of the bugs that you've seen. Because Fisher was in here earlier and he goes, yo, this dude, and I'm gonna decipher it to English, Fish. But he goes, yo, this dude just hit this putter 300 yards off the tee. Game's bullshit. And you're like, Fish, that's a known visual glitch that if you don't have some of the shot types unlocked, that it's going to change that. So some of the visual bugs that we've seen from previous games still exist.
So that's not the Texas wedge perk that you can unlock as a 300-yard putter?
No, and even that was being discussed earlier. The owner of the course in Georgia, who owns that file, loaded up the putter and was able to, on the very firm, very fast, get a putter 100 yards. But again, that's that course in Georgia that will have that massive slope. So I don't think that's going to reach the green. But
this game's already got to Georgia already, huh?
It's not official. But
okay.
But like I said,
waiting on the Georgia release date.
Yeah, the person who owns the file was play testing it and getting it ready to show up.
Oh, all right.
Allegedly,
well, I look
2K.
forward to playing that for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I know that's one of the bugs, the leaderboard bugs of when you get to the second round after the very first hole. It just shows you what people have done in the second round, not the first round and second. It just shows the first round. I think we've always had leaderboard bugs. I think them being ambitious with the cross leaderboards. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy that there hasn't been more issues other than Bobo appearing at the top of all of mine for some reason. Matthew Colorado for my 2K23 throwback. Maybe he's back under a new name, but I think
the only leaderboard bug that I saw has been in Beer Giant Society.
And what happened there?
I was ahead of some people that I'm usually not ahead of. Did he just mute me?
Are we talking about the heel turn now?
It's been a good show, everyone. The terrible.
Hey, give me my one moment in the sun. I will never beat you ever again.
No, I control the stream. Damn it! It's not appearing.
Gildad, you have no power here.
Nope. Oh, we got an answer on the recovery shot. So it is a lie percentage difference, and it looks like it is a better lie. So overall, like I feel like it's not necessarily an important stat, but
yeah, 70 versus 99. So
it's only 3%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the lower part is, I guess the higher part of that. Oh, wait a minute. 9. Yeah, 12 to 9. And then also it's,
Watch the Red Fast review
it's
do
very
math.
Minimal. Yeah. So many numbers right there.
I am glad that the game seems to be a little less math simulatory. I know that there's a lot of people that I've seen in the general sports variety that is happy about that they don't feel like that they have to do like specific math. They can play a little bit more with feel.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You know what's fun too is and maybe we can kind of touch on the shot types briefly, or the skill tree. I love just I'm in the rough. I have a lot of green to work with. I'm just hitting a pitch shot and letting it roll 20 to 30 yards on the green to try to get it nice tight to the hole, like just like I would in real life. I feel like I never did that in 23 or the prior iteration, simply because I just knew I just fully loft a pitch shot, and you could have it 1-2 bounce even out of a heavy rough. It would roll out 5 yards, and obviously that control is much more warranted. But the satisfaction you get of landing it 5 to 10 yards on the green, rolling it out another 20, and then it's 2 feet next to the pin. Like that's the satisfaction I love in real life too. And on top of it, it just seems real. That the pitch shot, although it's far less powerful in this game, like many others, it feels more realistic and so much more satisfying when you hit it.
Yeah, don't.
And I'm sure that at the very highest level of the game, like that, we're probably going to need to drill in some more math, like Kara mentioned. But like, I like that. I don't feel like that it's had to have been all that I talk about while I'm hitting golf shots. We can, like have actual fun.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there and go, all right, calculation. Okay, here's what I'm doing. You still have to think about the game, but it's not as number dependent. It's more on that feel side of, okay, here's what it's going to do when I'm hitting this shot. here's how the rollout's going to go. You have to look at the greens. It can't just be this club goes 45 yards. I'm going to get this 45-yard flop up, down. Okay. It's a lot of good short game touches.
I got another question. If we can, if we're at a moving point,
or just one last quick.
Go ahead.
I just go one last quick thing on that, and like just quickly on the math. The great part about this game, they offer so many modes that aren't hyper competitive that you don't need to ever get to that hyper competitive state to make the game worthwhile playing. So like, you know, it never has to be math state for some, like unless you actually get to that upper echelon, like it never needs to be that math because there's so many options for things to do. It's not just a lousy career mode. It's a decent career mode. There's societies, there's, you know, these other daily events and everything like that. And, you know, unless you're actually grinding TGC tours or trying to be the top of the ranked matchmaking, you know, math doesn't seem necessarily warranted. But anyways, go ahead, please.
Meter or no meter? What are people playing and what do you like?
Fade. I like being able to see it. So fade, you can see what your swing bias, how off center you need to be, and then it goes away. If you need to see it again because you might forget, or maybe you're telling a long life story, or maybe the baby wakes up, or maybe a girl calls, anyways, as you go, oh, okay, what that happens, you just hit L1 and it reappears again. So I know a lot of people have been like, well, I just have to hit practice swings to see. No, even on fade, you just hold L1 and it'll pop back up for you. And then you go, oh, okay. And then it disappears and you get that nice clean screen. So that's why it, for whatever reason, I think it's another 100th of a point for your XP. But I look at that and go, how can I get people the most XP when you're playing this society or playing around? And that's why I like the fade. If it's not there, okay. But there's been 2 or 3 times to where I get on one of those side hill lies and I go, oh, I would really like to know this, because if I don't see it at first, there's times to where I get locked into the old golf mode of back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. And like Narwhal said, that's how Ginger sends a ball 50 yards left of where it needs to be.
And some of them would be pretty much impossible to predict. Like I had my feet in the bunker, ball above, and it was like at the top and then right on the right side of the circle. Like how would I ever know I don't even know if that's possible. Like you'd have to move around.
You'd have like a right angle.
Oh, yeah, I've made that. I've made that swing before in other games, just not on purpose.
Yeah, started in 19. Yeah, so like I actually have not played with it off, but I found it interesting watching you guys play with it off, and you know, it never even dawned on me. I was actually in an argument with someone on Reddit. I'm like, there's no way that they're going to turn this off for like TGC or something like that. But now that I see the fade and have how it's implemented, you know, not having the visibility of where the power resides is a huge difference. Because like if you're trying to partial a shot, for example, it's such a huge aid visually. And I know I'm so accustomed to hitting partials in this game and feel super confident, like it's my go-to. So I would wonder how much different it feels and how long it takes to adjust. So maybe at like the higher skill levels, I think the fade would be an ideal option. But I don't see how you could ever play with it completely off unless you're just so in tune with how those weird wonky angles would be.
No, and the foot lies play. The foot lies play so much more.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Pleated.
I'm playing with it completely off. But
really?
you can L2
see it,
or whatever button, then you can end up seeing it, and you can see the percentage. And so what's going to happen is that those transition and rhythm stats might matter because that is where you're getting those weights.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I'm not having problems with partials. At pitches, I'm usually 2% underswing, but everything else I kind of got down. And I'll just say, if I can figure it out, I guarantee you that Kilbride, Narwhal, and Bear can figure it out.
So what would be fade then? Like you see it until you start your downswing. It's just like there.
No,
Perhaps?
it
So the thing
disappears
with
after a
fade-
couple seconds.
Yeah,
Oh.
but
But
it stays on too long,
Mhm.
and you could possibly swing with it on if you're quick.
Oh, okay. I got it.
And what
Yeah.
I didn't know, what you guys just said, if you have that setting turned off, you can still press L1 and it pops up for a second.
L1 or L2, yeah.
Yeah, whatever the button is, L2.
It'd be
I think.
interesting to have a setting to where it doesn't pop up at all. Like for people playing like True Sim or something like that.
Mm.
Nightmare
But
fuel.
putting would be impossible then because you wouldn't have any clue what the percentage is.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Very interesting.
that's good. I mean, if you want to stay on that same topic of difficulties, we can go into vibration because that's the other one that people have been talking about.
I haven't missed it at all. If you're
I have
playing
it
on
on.
a PlayStation 5, the controller's vibration is so weak anyway. Like I've just learned where my putting stuff is.
I have it
Mhm.
on, but I was also a mouse cheeser and now I'm on controller. So I'm going to just keep it on for a bit and then we'll see. I probably don't need it, but
Do you play with that on, Bear?
I started with it on because my biggest fear was putting.
Right.
I am not known for my putting. I have multiple emotes because of my terrible putting. So I was definitely afraid. Get your hands off your keyboards, both of you. I was
Never find it.
very nervous to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to be constantly doing this and leaving putts short. But once you get used to the rhythm of, okay, this is kind of how the character goes back on these putts and how to do it, I've loved no vibration. I think it's great. And again, more XP.
Now, one thing with putting, have you guys found? I found it very difficult. I still, to this day, it's an adjustment. I think we briefly touched on it. The rhythm, I'm overswinging so frequently. I've been able to dial it back to get it like a new swing, but at the start, I was like 0.04, 0.05, 0.06 over on rhythm very consistently. Now I'm probably 0.02, or every once in a while I'll get a perfect, but consistently over. I don't know if that's been like, I feel like I've seen it on a couple other people, maybe not in this chat.
I almost do it maybe on purpose. Like a little bit. Like I don't want to hit a putt under. It's not going to get to the hole. So if I'm going to miss, it's
Sure,
going to be
yeah.
a little long.
Yeah, but if you hit like 0.05, you yeet it past the
Mhm.
hole.
Mhm.
And if it's downhill at all, it's going for a long freaking time.
I've switched back and forth, Kara, between fast and slow. So I have found that pulling back fast is much more beneficial to getting it closer. There's Bear.
Sorry.
Getting it closer to the 0.02, but I typically was feathering it back, and I still was able to successfully get it to a perfect once or twice, but far less consistent. So I think I need to hammer it fast back. So therefore, the faster back, the
3 to
if
1.
I'm going fast up, then we're back to math, and this isn't a good subject. So proceed.
No, yeah, but
I love that everyone in chat is saying they have a little bit different way that they do these things and they're having success with it.
Mhm,
What an example of a good game
exactly.
play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think that was it felt like for the first week when people were playing, even last week, people were like, I love hitting this shot. I love hitting this shot. Putting's tough. And you go, oh, like real golf, like the sport that it's trying to emulate. That's interesting. And then as you start to dial that in, you go, oh, I'm liking this. Kilbride. I made you go, so.
Mm. It just emulates real golf. Like it's just it makes me so happy. Like I like sucking at it. I truly do. And I know it may turn people off from when they like, newcomers, and it does disappoint me, but I don't know. There isn't. I don't know what people expect when going into a golf game. That's I think my biggest critique for newcomers. And now I'm ranting, but I get so frustrated when people turn on the game for the first time and try to play golf game and it's not on perfect swing and they expect to be good. Like, did you expect to be good? And were you good in golf in real life? Of course you weren't. No one was. Not even Tiger Woods was good the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's a very he might have been. It's a very challenging game. And like, I just wish more people would embrace it. And we are seeing more people, but I love that aspect though, the challenge of it. It makes me want to come back for more. But
So when you talk
okay.
about that, and I'm sorry, Bear, if you have show notes, I'm just busting in here.
It's
I like
fine.
the fact-
Still in the positives, I guess.
I lost them.
The fact,
And so I made a new one.
The fact that Pro and Master feels like it has a huge jump in difficulty.
Yes.
And I think that's good from an
Mhm.
accessibility standpoint of the game.
So, how are the really good players feeling about Legendary? Like, are they
Good question.
still saying it's too easy for Legendary? I haven't messed around with it, so I don't know if it's an equivalent jump from, say, Master to Legendary.
Until I need
Give us the breakdown of the plat chat.
Yeah. Until I need windows cleaned, I don't look for their response. I don't care for their response. Because you could sit there and say this is going to be what needs to happen to make this the most competitive game ever. And after I hit a shot, if I don't hit it, someone get a branding iron and shove it so far. Well, yeah, we're not getting demonetized. But the extremes can't go to the top of the top. We've gone over this for 21, for 23, for 25. Respawn can confirm that it went back even further in those forums. There is a distinct cut that is made of the top 10 players in the world play their own game. It doesn't matter what difficulty you put it on, doesn't matter what the courses are on, it's going to be super low scores. Then you get into that secondary tier, maybe you're 10 to 40. What's going to be nice with this game is that might be 10 to 50. That might be 10 to 60, where if you catch fire in a round, if you haven't seen a Steve Schneider round as he's popping off, chasing down some of those people at the top, you're locked in. You're wishing that his neighbor didn't make noise complaints on him. You're yelling for the man. And that's excitement. And then you get that third tier, which again, hi, I'm there. What that was, it was, okay, I'm in plat. If I play well those first two rounds, then it's a free roll. Like, and I could tell you 100% my content when there's a cut line, people watch for the first two rounds. And then rounds 3 and 4, no one cares because I'm not winning. It's going to be, there'll be some good shots. We'll dance and sing for 5 minutes, but then it tails off. So when they're saying it's got to be legend, you have to do it. Okay, I'll play the game. I want normal courses then. I want a fair challenge if you're going to ramp up the courses. And that doesn't seem like what their plan is, because they've had the platinum rounds on legend. And when they go to their quote unquote plat conditions, I've loved this game through and through. I said, TGC doesn't need to exist then. If that's the plan, I don't want that.
Yeah, but we'll see what they do. I don't necessarily have too much say. I think Masters is definitely better for the most part, and but the elite of the elite are a special type. So it's going to be either courses or legendary that's going to knock down their scores a peg. And I know Doyley's always wanted to go to the legend if possible. It seems like it's possible in this game. So maybe it'll be a plat only thing. I definitely don't see it trickling down to elite or kinetic, but I feel like Masters is a good place, and you put a reasonable course out there. It, or maybe, Masters with all the, settings off or whatever, might make it a little bit more challenging on the plat level. But anyways.
Well, and the last thing on the swing difficulty, I love legendary. Like, that's not to say I hate it. It's horrible. It really makes you dial in and focus, and every shot matters and every little miss matters, and that makes it fun. But I know that if you're sitting there going, all right, this is what you're doing, I don't ever want to have to go, everyone, I need you to be quiet. All right. We're going to have the little guys on the signs going, all right, it's a platinum round, everyone. I need you to make sure that you do not spam anything in the middle of Bear's backswing, because if it's off by 0.5%, there's going to be a water. And so I don't want that. I've got him muted for this one. Nar, suck it.
That's what I would be typing.
That's exactly, because that's what I want it to be. I want it to be the fun of let's interact with each other. It drives me nuts. It still drives me nuts to this day that you get into those rounds and people like get real quiet. I'd be blowing the air horn on Kilbride 4 or 5 times in a TGC round.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that I haven't played Legend. Love Master. No vibration, no meter. When I hit a good shot, I feel like I've really hit a good shot. I specifically try on certain greens just to get it on the green, because I know that if I short side myself, even with the new fancy shots, it's still going to be really, really hard. And that feels like a golf game. And I think that I just played 2 rounds of Jackwagon in pro and basically just easy moded it after playing Masters. So I think that there's a huge jump in the difficulties. But you know what? There's also been a huge jump in, and this is definitely still on the good. The community is back. Every channel that is consistent has their golfers, right? And I'm seeing the golfers come back, and that's really exciting.
Even new golfers designing courses, designing a par 3 course to be able to do that. And again, joining the alt shot. Matt, I already used one of your courses in the den, by the way, available on all 3 consoles. Because you just want to make sure that, again, the designer's coming back. It's going to be great. And I think there's even going to be that early adjustment period, because I don't have it. All right. Knock it off. Mods, I need a new command for the society. I think it's going to be that learning adjustment, because 166s play so much quicker than what you're used to, where the second you get above that quote unquote fast green speed, it's moving real quick. So I think we still have maybe a month or 2 of, we're still going to get into the very fun diagram of course designers versus players. But I think it's going to get ironed out with what I'm hearing of the design tools.
How sexy are the courses too? Just makes me so happy seeing some of these just in a week's time just flying out, and they're just so beautiful. It just another reason that I enjoy logging into the game every day.
Real quick, and I'll start the war as well. Players versus course designers, stop hiding the rocks. All right, it's not fair. I didn't know it was there.
Some of the surface textures that are being painted that react It's like not actual rocks. It's just the surface painting that turns into a rock.
Again, should my ball have been there? No. But I need someone to blame because I didn't hit the shot too bad.
Right.
All right.
Do we dive into the negatives, or we have any more positives that we want to run through?
Unfortunately, I feel like we could continue to talk over and over about just the massive improvements. Again, when you started off with, you know what's really good? The gameplay. Oh,
Yeah.
the reason why you do this, and everything feeds off of that. But I do feel like there is the one topic that we're going to have to talk about. And that's the VC.
Yes.
I told you so.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like it is. This is so. The systems they put into place, the game that they put into place, all great. The economy that they manipulated on Friday night is an abomination. And it is not only did they decrease the amount of VC that you get, they also made everything more expensive. Pulling both triggers at the same time is unforgivable to me. Especially because they let the early access people have it at an accelerated rate for a full 7 days. I feel so sorry for C-Flow and some of the other people that got the game after they saw us having fun, and now they're stuck playing with a 70 overall character after 10 hours.
And it's a piss off because for us, streaming content, anything like that, for the past week, it's the only thing that we can talk about. Because like you said, you pulled 2 triggers at once. It wasn't just, oh, we lowered this, everything stayed the same. You changed the entire economy by not only losing what we got, but by jacking up the prices of things that are needed to progress the game. And at that moment, you have to sit back and go, holy shit, you just dropped a bomb, because all those numbers that we worked through, everything that we were like, okay, so if you do this, this is good. Okay. Again, sorry. I know, I know you make talking points that you want to make sure you bring up in stream. I make talking points that I want to bring up in stream. That if I say, okay, this is how we're going to do VC. Hey, everyone, this is why we're doing this. And all of a sudden, all of my notes just got lit on fire. And I go, oh, well, I'm not sure. And people are coming in going, how'd you get your guy to be that far up? And it's like, what happened was I paid more for the game. And then you have to sit there and go, well, it's not the pay to, but the second you flip those triggers, you make all of us go, ah, shit. Now you made it pay to win. We got the early access, extra money. We got the free ride.
Yep. So here is a recap. I'm not going to get everything. AP fittings went from 125 to 175. You have to do about 3 of them on average to get an overall increase. The club fittings in the store went from 50 to 75. Balls went from 20 to 30. Everything went up in the store. And at the same time, our VC went down to 54 per an 18 round hole. And I found this out after the fact. $100 used to get you 18,000 VC. It now only gets you 16,000 VC. So doing all of that together just completely stifled the economy and makes some game modes, the ones that I was most excited about, the ranked tours, impossible to play because you lose VC if you're using a consumable golf ball. Like, so, you know, I know that there's going to be some people that say VC is still easy. Just go grind career mode. Go do this specific thing. That's not the point of the game. The point of the game is that there's all kinds of different things that you can play and you can make the game fun for yourself. We shouldn't have to find the glitch. And I'm just going to stop from there because I love the game so much, but it's infuriating that they did this to us. And then and this is the last thing I'll say, and then are tone deaf enough to give us a double XP weekend where people can gain a whole bunch of XP, but don't have the VC to use the AP.
Yeah, one other thing you forgot, and I'll let you go first, Nar, but the removal of a lot of different quests and challenges that also award you VC was a major one. So another avenue which you could have used VC first is no longer there. But Nar, I'll let you.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is they have these awesome game modes like Pleated was talking about, and I was playing some ranked matchmaking last night, and I was watching Respawn play some ranked matchmaking last night. He played for 2 hours and got enough VC for 1 attribute point. Like, if you beat a guy 5 and 4, you play a few holes, it's 18, 15. It's not enough to level up your character if you're getting 1 attribute point every 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to say one more thing. And, I know Justin Rose said this tongue in cheek, that you've never played NBA, right? Like a different, complete community right now, after that game's been out for how long? They have 6.8 thousand people watching it on Twitch right now. We have less than 1,000. So, like what's going to happen is people are going to leave. People
have already left. Sadly, like you saw Mills playing for a few days. I don't know for sure, but like he certainly didn't. He made it vocal how unforgivable it was, and he stopped playing the game. There's this guy named Seamount for Life. Haven't seen him in a week.
Seamount, right? Seamount for Liffy.
He was kind of promoting the game for a little bit there, but I mean, you see so many people, and it's just, you feel gutted because we're all privileged that we had early access to the game. We all have 90 overall characters, and we're the ones speaking out too. It's like, I feel like you have to voice up your opinion for the rest of the community. And, I have a screenshot here right in front of me that someone is 74 overall, 257 VC, and they have 57 attribute points available. Now, I obviously can't speak on behalf of where that player spent their VC. They could have very well purchased some things and, stockpiled to make this fabricated or exaggerated screenshot. But I'm willing to bet there's a lot of people out there that are in these mid to low 70 area with a boatload of AP just sitting there. And the only way to get it up is to take out your credit card and purchase some VC, which is just such a I would rather have the attribute. I would rather have this slow level up progress and just not have the attribute points available. At least it's not double slapping you in the face, that they're just sitting there and, I can actually get it if I pay money. The fact that
$62 is what they would need to spend to use those 57 attribute points, 9,975 VC.
Yeah.
And so what Pred is saying in chat, there's not much of a point right now to making multiple characters. You can't afford to. I was so looking forward to messing around with like the magician and the sculptor.
What are the names of the characters? Because this is also important. That because of the customization, good. Because of being able to design your characters, good. Narwhal, I need you to tell the people some of the names you have.
All right. My sculptor is Michelangelo, and he's this old weather dude. Looks great.
Brilliant.
My greenskeeper is Peter Griffin. That one doesn't really fit as well, but that's what was left over. I spent 1,000 VC for green pants and a white shirt right before the patch.
Outstanding.
For a character that I can't afford to now get any decent. So we have Joe Hendry as the magician.
Yes. Sorry, that's me.
My enemy. It's just me for like my main technician.
But that's it. Like there were people designing these extra characters because you had the ability to.
Oh, you mean
the VC to have some fun?
Fun. Oh, is that what we were trying to do here? We were trying to have fun.
It was fun.
I thought this game was only competitive. John Cena, the powerhouse. Like, again, all of my characters have some bear themed name to them. So losing that little piece of, okay, even if I didn't get that and I had a character who was 80 overall, now I'm losing the rebirth. Now I don't want to make new characters. Now I don't want to have that experience. And again, getting a screenshot from Narwhal of look at this character, getting screenshots from a ton of you in the community going, look at this character. We can't do Lexatron's, and I always had the A and then he yells at me, Lextron's character creation, where, show us all of your wacky builds, because no one's going to want to do that anymore. How you neutered my content. Well, you son of a bitch. You did it to me. All right. So
they also neutered the community, because how terrible is it going to be that person that's just buying the game today and they have to compete against us that have characters in the 90s? It's a slap in the face to the people that try to community build, because, and let me be 100% clear, economies in sports video games should not be tuned for the people that play it all the time. The economy needs to be tuned for your average golfer to ensure that they are making reasonable progress. Like, will be okay. Well, like when MLB comes out, I'm not sure if I'll be okay. But when the people that are sitting here in this stream are going to be okay.
You'll be playing MLB as well.
Yeah, like but the other people that we want to engage in our little part of the internet are going to feel so behind on the 8-ball, and every day that this continues, it's just going to magnify it. And so I implore you, 2K. I know that there's next makers that have said that they're listening and that they're doing and researching data. I'm going to say I am not a snarky person, and I don't really usually pull my punches. But I will tell you this. You say that you have to wait and look at all of the data. It only took you 7 days to examine all of the data after the pre-release to be able to make a change. So make your change in another 7 days. Time is ticking. You got till the weekend.
And the pre-release is filled with all people who play almost exclusively at a different rate than everyone that buys the standard edition as well. So you're making your decisions based on an incomplete data set to begin with. If you made this decision and you factored in the data of the people that purchased the standard edition and only had 20 hours in the game, you would have had a much better idea of what the actual values would be, and what everyone's overall would be, and if people would be buying VC. And one thing that I've relayed back is I can't emphasize enough how much I think VC needs to be targeted towards cosmetic only features. And it's their own fault for releasing the game with a lack of a store as the way it is. If you can create a much better store in an economy, you have all these different sponsors. I see every sponsor under the sun in my career mode, and you can't find different, why does everyone have the dart hat? Put that in for 1,500 VC in the shop. Make that purchase only. Make these things. Make a huge shop with a huge selection. Make golf clubs date back. Like, why can't I buy tailor-made burners that I played as a kid? Like, maybe yes, you want to promote your new tailor-mades, but there should. I don't know. you could have so many different options that people would want to buy things in the shop if you had and gave them the option. And it would be a positive influence on the community. No one would complain. Fortnite has made boatloads of money off of cosmetic only purchases, and no one has ever complained about a um a purchase there. I have friends that have probably spent thousands of dollars on cosmetics for Fortnite. Yes, it's been around a decade, but oh, I see the new Batman skin. I gotta spend $20. And it circles back to one other final point, and I'll let you guys chime in. Is I think they shot themselves with the foot in the foot by releasing the game with so few, and it doesn't seem like they're going to add characters and have personalities that you can play with. I wrote down today, or I looked at it today when I saw Happy Gilmore 2 has this incredible cast list of all these professional golfers, 5 times better than what your PGA Tour game just released. You have and what you could do is you could use those sellable characters in the shop if you found a way to integrate them. Make Rory McIlroy for purchase for $5,000, and you can use them in ranked. Like, people would pay $15-$20, and he comes with all his apparel and clubs or something along those lines. You just keep adding people. Add Steph Curry. You already had these people. Add Michael Jordan. You have the NBA. You have WWE or whatever. I'm butchering that probably.
No,
You have
good.
wrestling. You have all these ties. There's so many ways to monetize off of the shop, and no one is going to get mad for it, and people actually enjoy it because they are having fun. People want to use those players. Give them a reason to use Steph Curry. Give them a reason to use Michael Jordan, who I literally only use to make videos to pretend that I was actually playing with Michael Jordan in 2K23. There is no incentive at all to play with the characters once again, and it is just another unexplored avenue that you could have generated VC. And ultimately, they're going to see that their VC sales are up because they were so piss poor in 23. And I'm worried that's going to overshadow. They're going to see the influx of VC for 25, and they're going to say, "Hey, we're doing a good job." Well, guess what? It could be even higher, as well as your sales, because the entire community would be better and be more profound if you just balanced it and let people in.
Dak just got me inspired of an Undertaker bundle of you can, he's got different clubs, everything. I'm assuming we're not talking Roland Taker, right? We're talking old school Asa Timbale Taker, right? Either way, hell, 2K, you want to make more? You could do both. But doing that for the cosmetics is fine. And Nar, I'm letting you jump in because all I wanted to say is the cherry on top to plead it at the end is if you would have put a little hourglass to let him know about the time that is ticking away. Petty bitch. All right, Narwhal.
I mean, Kilbride kind of touched on it, but think about, I'm popping into all these chats, especially people who have been live a ton. Hey, should I buy the game? I've seen that how many times, and it's like, well, I don't know at this point. Think about how many lost sales they've had. Like, sure, they might have people buy VC here and there. It's going to look great, but they're losing out on sales too for people looking at the game, coming onto Twitch and saying, hey, no, this economy is super screwed up. So I don't know. I think
a single person is coming into my stream on any of the different socials and saying game sucks. They're saying game's great. Why can't I progress faster?
Mm-hmm.
Just make people progress faster. Like, just change one of your independent variables. Give us some more VC after a round. Maybe make it so people that play against each other in ranked get a little bit more because of the time that they're taking. Keep everything expensive. It should be a bit of a grind, but you have to have the supply of the coins. They know that. They just got to do it.
So let's calculate. Let's have a fun game, pleaded. I'll lean on you for the math because you know some of it, and you've already expressed the AP. How many attributes does it take to level up one typically?
Around 3. Sometimes
3.
it can be 2, sometimes it's 3.
Okay, so let's for argument's sake say 3. And Respawn played for how long last night, Nar?
I think it was like 2 hours of ranked,
Okay,
but
2 hours
yeah,
ranked. Okay, and we need 3, so it would be 6 hours from 1 overall. And what do you start at?
65.
65, 70.
65,
65? Yeah,
70.
65.
So 30 times 6, nearly 200 hours to potentially get to 99 overall. Potentially.
for
Yeah,
one
and
character.
Respawn just said that it's up to like 7 per
Oh,
level when
right.
you get past 90.
Oh, yeah. So you're looking at, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 hours. Something egregious.
Unreal. That's it. It truly is. After all that, again, and I do want to reiterate, 90% of this is really good. And that's why we wanted to spend a lot of time talking about the
Yes.
good of the game. But at the end of the day, doing this, you've cut yourself off at the knees. And then you've put yourself in mud, and then you've poured gasoline over yourself and then said, who wants a match? Like, there's just absolutely no sense to why it happened. And I've tried to think about, like, okay, so in the early when we were all playing the back nine of Scottsdale, you were getting 1 VC a hole, and everyone was like, this is horrible. And then we got the early access, and they're like, all right, you get 5 VC a hole. And we were like, okay, this is awesome. And then they went, what if we went in the middle and did 3? Even then, people probably would have been a little upset, but then you went and raised all the prices. And that's the issue, to where now you're going to have to make another massive correction of either going to that 4, because that's a compromise. If you want to do that, you're going to give us something. If I play 18 holes at 4, that's going to still take too long. But you're not sitting there going, we've caved to their demands. You're given more VC. You're making, again, another issue is, okay, I want to go play alt shots with Nar. Let's do that. All right, we only get to 7 holes. All right, we both get 21 VC for that. All right, why?
Yeah, I think dependent upon the game mode too, it would really help. Everyone loves alt shots and they love ranked matchmaking. There's people who play that like exclusively, but it's just impossible. Those game modes just take longer.
Yeah, they shouldn't have pulled all the triggers, all the levers.
Right.
And
Yep.
that's what they did. They hit an emergency button, and they just, like, they panicked. Like, if they would have just done one of them, the game would have been just fine. They probably wouldn't have even had all that much complaining, other than us just kind of tongue in cheek saying, well, the game's going to be more of a grind, but we keep on playing and we keep telling people this is a great game. Let's keep grinding together. But doing all this stuff together, it's disheartening because the actual gameplay's so good. Don't, 2K, please, don't let the economy ruin the momentum of a really freaking awesome game. Every day of silence, you're losing people.
And quickly.
Yeah, and it ultimately, I guess I'll leave it at this for my final thoughts. I don't on this particular subject is I think that it's just a middle ground. Like, it's a couple of small changes, but it was the magnitude of the number of changes that really, like, from 5 to 3 a hole isn't that bad. Like, it's bad. It's a 40% reduction. That's pretty significant. You add in all the other things, it makes it like it feel like a 90 or 95% drop, which in reality it probably was, on top of people that are playing at a slower rate buying the standard edition. So I mean, you bump it back to 5, or you keep it at 3 for for all intents and purposes. But you make ranked free, or to play, and you automatically get 50 for winning and 25 for losing or something. And you actually have someone who has any sort of reality of what the game of golf is create the challenges instead of put 10 albatrosses in there. Put some realistic ones that have and can earn you VC. It's a couple of small fixes that will drastically change the amount of people that are willing to buy the game in the first place, and there will still be a demand for VC, as long as you put, especially if you put some effort into your darn shop. Yeah.
Well, and if you're going to make that quest of 5 albatrosses, don't give me 300 fucking player XP.
Yeah.
Like
1,500.
Understand the game of golf of if you're going to sit there and go, hey, get 5 consecutive eagles on this official course. Okay, what do I get? 150 XP. Thanks. I don't care. Like it's not going to happen.
I scroll over them. Like, aren't some of the gold ones, like the GOAT challenge, like 50 VC? What a slap in the... I would rather 0. I really would. 50 is such an insult. You're doing something that you're completing the game that should take you hundreds of hours to do, and you're getting 50 VC apiece.
Hey guys, we gotta see some. This is really important. This is the first time that Lily has ever been on stream.
I was gonna say that's the first time I've ever seen that cat.
Yeah, and she's probably gonna leave now that I'm talking. But that was yep, she's gone. But that was the first time that Lily's ever been on stream.
Sorry, writing notes for the trivia.
You got a few other things on the issue list. I'm running to the restroom as you run to the next thing.
Again, the big thing I had was the challenges and quests. I understand there's going to be bugs with a new system, all of that. Whoever is making those needs to really think about golf. And even I didn't know. Did you guys know there was a Barstool code to get stuff yesterday?
Nope.
Okay. Again, I don't know how valid that is. Again, please correct me, Den, if I'm speaking out, but I thought there was a rumbling that there was a Barstool code to get some apparel, because the Wednesday challenge that they offered was if you did 5 holes in Barstool clothing, you would get 50 VC. Okay, that's great if you gave me Barstool clothing. But I don't know if that one was active, because all I saw was you could buy this great Barstool merch for 2,500 VC. And again, going back to economics, and this will be really easy, 2,500 is a shit ton more than 50 for me to play 5 holes, and I'm not going to do that. So, Kilbright, I was just talking about the challenges and making sure they lined up with time invested.
Yeah.
So what was that? You had to sign into your 2K account online and then claim it in the game. So there was 2 steps. You had to go to the 2K account and then do that. Why are we making it so hard? We have codes.
Make 5 birdies on the day, like make it something like that. Record 2 eagles on the day. Do something simple like that. Record a hole in one on the day and you get 1,000 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like some cool, obviously there's going to be people that try to cheese it or something.
Official courses, pro or higher. Hole in one on the day. Like every hole in one you get 1,000.
People want, or sure, play around as a sculptor. Okay, yeah, to get people to use other things. People aren't going to want to do it though if they only have, they're leveling up the one character. Before, sure, yeah, you wanted to play with all 5 of your characters, but now not so much. So the challenges are just all over the place, and someone with a pulse that understands the game of golf needs to take a look better into those.
R2.
And I was really looking forward to leveling up all 5 to
Mhm.
really start doing some testing, like one-on-one, sort of like, because there was one night I spent 2 hours after a stream theory crafting my technician, and I do that for all of them. And now, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
R2.
It's just
Spend $250 to do it.
Yeah, R2, you saying it feels very new worldish. Golf, and I'm going to shock some people, is for a lot of older people.
yeah.
All right. Again, and I can say this because I've been in Pleated's chats when he does Madden, when he does NBA, when he does some of those, we'll call them younger games. And it's a different vibe that you get. All right. The amount of time someone in the golf community comes in and goes 1v1 me, bro, it's very limited compared to the Madden 1v1 me, bro, or the PGA, or I got lost in the train of thought because I'm reading chat. But things.
Eric, give me a second to translate to someone that knows what he's talking about. We're talking about the launch of the game New World. It was an MMO that everyone was super, super excited about. They killed the game because of the economy, and it took them years to get it back, and basically had to reboot the game with a new sort of like subtitle to be able to make it right. It was such a possibility of being such a good game, but the economy.
We had the community and that all super hyped up too, and there were tons of people playing it. Everyone was having a great time, and then same thing, just nuked to the economy.
I mean, there's your example then.
I'd love to know, anyone in chat buy the standard edition? If so, I'm curious what your overall is, what your highest overall player is. So if anyone in the chat, just say your overall, I'd be very curious if anyone's even at like an 85 overall. And I bet you it's crazy amount of hours played if that's the case.
Any standard editioners?
Are we all Legend Edition? Because unfortunately, that's going to be the thing that keeps us playing, because we are circumvented the super slow, hyper slow progress. 91 Nomad said. Okay,
that's about what I am with
just hit 80.
Yeah, that must be a lot of. I assume no VC purchases.
And has 99 already. I mean, I can see it if you're, again,
just
the way you do it is you go into career mode, you get the interactive sim, you put it on 2, you make everyone super easy, and then that's how I've been that's how I've been getting some of my VC stuff, has been going to career mode. All right, load this up. All right. And it's 4 or 5 hours of sitting there. Like, thank goodness I'm in Twitch chats and just BSing and lurking. But at the same time, it was like, I don't want to be in this career mode. I want to be in these online societies. I want to try this ranked tours. And he just couldn't.
So let me read how I read what Respawn just said, because he missed 2 important words at the beginning. But actually,
yeah, that would have,
I bought the standard edition and been playing for 2 weeks, and I already have a 99.
See, I mean, Respawn, you had the That's Just Baseball. Is that going to be That's Just Golf? Golf is really expensive, people. Like, I don't want that. Please don't. It's just golf, it's expensive. They don't even charge us for greens fees here. What a gift 2K's given us. No greens fees.
Well, unless you're using a consumable.
Don't give them any ideas, Bear.
And Nomad, we're in no means throwing shade on you. Like, no. I think that it's cool that you've been able to grind it up at that well. Like, I don't know if I would have had the patience for it if I would have got it on launch.
I bet you, correct me if I'm wrong, Respawn would know better.
Get the legendary edition.
Got the legendary package with it, yeah.
Oh.
Legendary.
That's the worry, Justin.
I don't even know.
They might very well not do anything.
or anyone in chat that has to 99, I'm curious. I think it was roughly the grind from 70 or up to 90 is faster than the grind from 90 to 99. So I mean, I bet you if that's nonstop for the past week, it's still 3-4 weeks, and he's just grinding career mode to do so. But 2 to 3 times as long the grind to 90. So it's about a month of grinding career mode nonstop to get one character to 99 overall.
And those are pre-patch numbers, because that was when we had Respawn on. That was the warning. It was, you are going to get your characters up to 90, and then that's when it's a massive, massive grind to get to 99.
Mm. Oh, before patch, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well.
So now you'll get there by the end of the game cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With one character.
Right.
I mean, where else do we go now? Like it.
I don't really have anything much else. You have some other issues like the stuttering on the consoles and some other thing.
I was going to say, do you
had something to?
Do you want to read
there?
that? Because again, that was middle of the day. That was some pissy motherfucker can't handle getting his ass kicked. He quits. I don't get the matchmaking complete and get fucked on VC. Fuck you, faceless assassin. Whoever you are, if you're in here, take your ass whooping like a man and don't quit when you're 4 down. Because then I don't get the VC. I didn't get the challenge. I had to do another match. It's just a minor thing, but I was just like already heated of listening to chat after chat being like, well, you know, you got to do this, and I was just ready to go through the screen and just beat the piss out of him.
Like, I don't know why
virtually.
We can't just make wins, even if they're disconnected, like 75 VC, and losses, you know, like 25 to 30 or something like that, and just make 0 purchase to play. Like, why are we purchasing to play ranked matchmaking? That is just foolish. But
again, I'm assuming Pleated's doing the calculation on what is the total cost for 90 to 99.
Just the quick math in my head, probably between $75 and $80.
Okay. Yeah.
From 90 to 99.
Yeah.
At that point, it's no longer pay for convenience. You are making people have to do this in order to have a decent player.
So to kind of circle around and get back to maybe a little bit of the positive portions of it, is that what they've done there is they've nuked the reasons to play the online sort of matchmaking and ranked tours, because there's just no VC in it. But there still are societies that are not just going to, you know, the hardest sort of levels of difficulty, and go and play in them, join and continue to join and be a part of communities, play the game because it's fun. It's more fun when we're playing against each other and with each other. And that would be my plea, is to do what we've done with every single other sports game for as long as I've been streaming on this platform. We have to make our own fun. So find your own fun. The game is fun. Find a group of people that you like to play with. Play the games together.
I think that's it. And I feel like I'm definitely going to have no struggles finding fun. I just, you know, we have all these rants and are upset because it hinders our ability to, you know, have a little bit of fun with character building and progression. But more importantly, it hinders the newcomers coming into the community and potentially wanting to buy the game, because the influx of people in the community would have been just the greatest thing. And with such a great product, there's no reason that they should be limiting the amount of people coming in. But that being said, I'm still going to play and enjoy the game because I love the game. I'm obsessed with golf, and all of us. I mean, we're privileged enough that we have the Legend Edition that and had the early access, so we're not as impacted. But I feel sorry for anyone that certainly was, which is a lot of people.
We
Nope.
can.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say we can kind of start to do the wrapping up of the schedules and final
Sure.
thoughts of what you have, Mr. Narwhal.
Hello.
Hi.
It's Narwhal.
I pressed the go live button on Sunday and it did not work, but I think we might have figured it out. We will see. But I'm thinking Tuesdays and Sundays. Those are really the only days that I have good availability on a consistent basis. I'm having so much fun with the game though, and just playing with you guys, playing societies, ranked matchmaking, like whatever the case is. So that's what I'm going to try to stick to is just Tuesday and Sunday afternoons. But that's
Good to
what I
have you
got.
back, Nar.
Thank you. It's fun to
Yeah,
be back.
absolutely. And you're still planning on designing some courses.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm most excited for. I've been hanging out, talking to some of the good designers, and it's just fun to kind of pick their brains and see what they're working on and stuff. So the designer's awesome. It's super fun. I will make more time for that because you can kind of just like, hey, 45 minutes here, 45 minutes there, with that stuff. But yeah, it's awesome. I'm looking forward to actually getting something out in this game cycle. So it might suck. We'll see.
Mr. Kilbride.
So I started today. I'm hoping it'll turn into a daily series of a course of the day on all things, all social platforms, Kilbride 10 on all of them. And I've logged, or I've start to finish completed 4 of them. So I've banked 3 of them over the next 3 days. Almost complete on another 4. But ideally, I'm just going to get ahead of the curve and just always have like 7 to 10 days buffer that I can have a whole bunch of courses. It does take me a while to make those videos, but I truly do enjoy it. And I love showcasing the videos, and even more so now with the update in graphics and design tools that just make these courses sensational. So I will be definitely trying to continue that series, and additionally, try to do some YouTube stuff as well. So YouTube will be the primary platform. You'll find all my content there. I did a couple other YouTube videos thus far. One of them seems to be taking off pretty nicely. Ironically, it's called "Is 2K20 PGA Tour 2K25 worth it?" I gave an overwhelming yes, but now it's with the caveat that there, majority of my comments everywhere are still targeted towards VC the past week, which, goes to show the state of where the community is. So anyways, Kilbride 10, all socials, and YouTube would be the primary.
Mr. Pleated.
So I am very excited to start to have something that looks like a consistent schedule again. Wednesday, Thursday, Sundays, starting around 6 p.m. Central Time, depending on what's going on, like that could be pushed closer to in between 6 and 6:30. But I'm having a blast getting in streaming again and getting back into kind of like just getting used to it is great. We're going to play a lot of golf. Baseball's going to release. If baseball's a good game, we're going to play a lot of baseball too. So I'm thinking about kind of splitting my days between golf and baseball. And I'll throw short form stuff up every once in a while. I am also streaming, co-streaming, I guess you'd call it, on YouTube and TikTok and X while I'm streaming on Twitch. But you're already here on Twitch, so that's always going to be my number one priority. But yeah, like back in the saddle, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Fair.
And I am still doing the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday night special. Pleated was talking about having some fun. So we will not be live this Friday because we are prepping for the dating show. That's
How are we
right.
pronouncing this? Bearchiller?
The Bear Chiller. Welcome to the Bear Chiller. Your one chance to become my season 1 alt shot partner. The only requirement is you're going to have to be able to get into a voice Discord at some point Saturday night, because I have some very, very important questions similar to if you're out on the golf course and you got to get a quick 9 in, are you playing the front or the back 9? So that's going to be Saturday. Very excited. Friday, I'm not going to be live because anytime I'm doing one of those gong show productions, which I love to call them, I want to make sure I get the scene set up. I get the voice chat set up. So that way I can pop in, out, move in, and structure everything, because on this channel, it's not just golf. It is stupid entertainment. And I like that. So, gentlemen, closing thoughts before we go raid the new hot and upcoming streamer that I'm very excited about for this game, and I hope it gets better for him.
I am contemplating joining that dating game because like I'm suddenly like maybe an attractive partner.
You would dominate some of these questions.
All I'm gonna say is I can't be there on Saturday, so I don't know if we can work something out, if I can get the questions beforehand, but I would play a few holes on the front 9, a few holes on the back 9, hop around, make sure that the whole course is seen, even if I'm not playing. Playing the front or the back 9 for the whole session. So
and that's the kind of content we're looking for. No, don't come in here and be like, I'm going to be really good, pick me. No, an alt shot partner is a bond. Narwhal and I had it a couple years ago. We've won. We single-handedly stopped Facebook gaming from happening.
Yes.
All right.
Destroyed the whole platform.
And unfortunately for most of you, that was also the birth of the Aviators and this character. So, for better or for worse. All right. Thank you all for popping on in. As always, we will end this with a raid to someone who is well deserving of it, and a message for one very special friend.
Suck it, Moose.